Welcome back again, my dear brothers and sisters. So in this episode, we have several concepts to discuss. First of all, we have a topic left from the previous episode, which we need to discuss in this episode. So you must remember that in the previous episode, we were discussing the existence of this universe. Where did this universe come from? What made this universe exist? And we found that if you think about these questions, that you get actually 4 possibilities. Out of which we have already discussed 3 possibilities in the previous episode. And among these 3 possibilities, we found the only possibility that is logically valid, the only possibility that is correct is there is a creator separate from the creation created this universe. There is a creator separate from the creation created this universe. And the other 2 possibilities that is universe came from nothing without any cause and universe created itself, these are actually logically invalid possibilities and these are actually incorrect. So we are left with one more possibility. And that is universe is ever existing. That means there is no point of time when universe came into existence, rather universe is there forever. Right? We will discuss that possibility in this episode. But before we do that, we must address a very, very important question. And this is such an important question that this question is actually inevitable in any discourse on the existence of the creator. So whenever you actually discuss the existence of the creator, this question must arise. This question must arise. And what is this question? If there is a creator, then who created the creator? Now, answer to this question is that creator cannot have a creator, because if creator had a creator, he had another creator and so on, then this creation would not come into existence. Why? Well, let me give you a very simple analogy to understand this. Suppose there is a pizza outlet. There is a pizza outlet where the cook in the kitchen, he makes pizza only when he gets an order from his supervisor. So the cook actually does not make any pizza until he receives an order from his supervisor. And now this supervisor also awaits the order from another supervisor. That means you can say that supervisor 1 actually awaits the order from supervisor 2. That means until the supervisor 1 actually gets an order from supervisor 2, he doesn't pass on any order to the cook and the pizza is not made. And now supervisor 2 also awaits the order from another supervisor, that is supervisor 3, who further awaits the order from supervisor 4. And in this way the condition goes on and on and on, my dear brothers and sisters. So my question to you, my dear brothers and sisters, that if this was the norms in a pizza outlet, do you think would any pizza be ever made in that outlet? Never. Never. This would be an endless waiting for the pizza to come, because the chain of supervisors doesn't terminate anywhere. It doesn't have any end. That means you never get to the top. Supervisor has a supervisor who has another supervisor who has like that, it goes on and on. It is infinite, right? So you never get to the top. That means the order is never made. That means no order is actually passed down to the cook. So the pizza is never made. Similarly, my dear brothers and sisters, if creator had creator, who had another creator, and so on, then this creation, like the pizza, would not come into existence. It would never come into existence, right? Because if there is a chain of creators, that means there is no end of creator. So the creation is never coming into existence. But we see a creation before us, don't we? We see the whole creation before us. We ourselves are also creation. What does this prove? It proves that creator cannot have a creator. That means it has to have an end. And that topmost level is the real creator. So my dear brothers and sisters, no matter how much you brainstorm, you have to always conclude that above the level of creation, there has to be a being who is uncreated. There has to be a being who is uncreated. That means he doesn't have any beginning, he doesn't have any end. And he is absolutely independent. Why? Because obviously when there was nothing, he was there. He was the one who actually brought everything into existence. So he didn't depend on anyone. So he is absolutely independent. And he has the power to create. So you must believe that above the level of the creation, there has to be a being with these 4 qualities. That is, he doesn't have any beginning, he doesn't have any end, he is absolutely independent, and he has the power to create. Now, atheists might argue here, well, if you're believing in a being above the level of creation with these 4 qualities, why don't you believe that this creation itself has these 4 qualities? Then you can finish the story at the level of creation itself. You don't have to imagine there is a being, there is a creator, in fact. Right? Why don't you imagine that the creation, that means the universe has all those qualities. That means universe is without any beginning, without any end. Universe is absolutely independent. Universe can create itself. In the sense, universe can control itself, it can operate itself, it can run itself. Why don't you believe in this? This is the topic we left in the previous episode. That is, universe is, ever existing. It doesn't have any point of time when actually it came into existence. Now, this is impossible, my dear brothers and sisters. Why? Because if you believe in this, then you must believe that this universe has to have, I mean, if you believe that universe can control itself, it can operate itself, it can run itself on its own, then you must believe that this universe has its own mind. You have to believe this universe has to have infinitely intelligent mind. Why? Let me elucidate this concept a little bit so that you understand. Needless to say that this universe is actually super complex machine. It's a machine. Because if you study the universe, you will find it has countless components. And each of these components actually specifically designed so that it can serve a purpose, it can play a role in the universe, right? And all these components now further interacting with each other to sustain and maintain this universe. This is exactly what a machine does, right? It's like a computer. So computer is a complex machine. So in a computer, you will find a lot of components. Computer has memory. So memory does what? Memory stores data. It has processor. Processor does what? Processor processes data, or you can say it actually calculates data. It has buses. So buses are the connectors which actually transport data from one part to the other. It has a monitor which actually displays the output. Computer has more and more actually components. We are not going to discuss all those components. Rather, let us stick to these 4 components only to understand what exactly we are trying to understand. So if you now believe, my dear brothers and sisters, that a computer doesn't have any builder, it doesn't have any manufacturer, then you must believe the computer has the ability, it has its own mind to develop itself into the sophisticated system. Then you must believe that memory has its own mind, and one fine morning, memory has decided that from today I will store data. Processor has its own mind, and it has suddenly, chosen the task of processing data, calculating data. Buses have their own minds, and they have actually chosen the task of transporting data from one part to the other. Monitor has its own mind, and it has chosen the task of displaying the output. And not only these components have their own minds and they have chosen these respective tasks, they have even chosen one more task to do. What is that? They have chosen to interact with each other. They have chosen to interact with each other in such a way so that they can unanimously achieve a meaningful output. Similarly, my dear brothers and sisters, this universe is actually far more complex than a computer. A computer is nothing. This universe is actually infinitely more complex than a computer. In fact, a computer is what? A computer is a part of the universe only, right? So if you believe now that this complex structure, this universe, the universe has the power to actually run itself. The universe can operate itself. The universe can actually develop itself from the simplest to this complex structure that we see today. And the universe knows everything about itself. Then you must believe, my dear brothers and sisters, that this universe has to have its own mind. And what type of mind? Not any ordinary mind with any level of intelligence or IQ. It has to be infinitely intelligent mind. It has to be infinitely intelligent mind. Now, my dear brothers and sisters, if we look into the universe, do we find this infinitely intelligent mind anywhere? Well, let us see what actually we see in the universe. We see there is a living world and there is a non-living world in the universe, right? And both this living and non-living are made of atoms. Even the living organism. Because as you know that the building block of living organism is also cell, is actually cell. And cell contains what? Cell contains all the organelles like cytoplasm, nucleus, mitochondria, right? These are the organelles. And these organelles are actually made of molecules, and molecules are further made of atoms. That means we are also made of atoms. Living beings are also made of atoms. This is amazing fact, in fact. This is an amazing fact that living and non-living both are made of atoms, but living beings, they have consciousness. We have consciousness, we have our own mind, we have intelligence. But non-living beings, non-living things, they don't have intelligent mind, right? And among all the living beings, we know ourselves to be the most intelligent species so far. This tells us something. That means universe has intelligence. Why? Since we are part of the universe, that means we are the universe, right? Since your hand is part of your body, that means this is you, right? So since we are the part of the universe, so we are also universe. Since we are able to think, since we have intelligence, that means we have to say we have, the universe has actually its intelligence. So we are the intelligent part of the universe. But are we that infinitely intelligent part of the universe? Remember, my dear brothers and sisters, that infinitely intelligent mind has to be there. Otherwise, who is running the universe? If we were the infinitely intelligent mind of the universe, then we would be able to do all this. What? We would be able to run the universe. We would be able to control the universe. We would be able to operate the universe. We would be able to actually bring universe from simplest to this complex form. And we should be knowing everything about the universe, every nook and cranny of the universe. My dear brothers and sisters, can we say that we know all these things or we can do all these things? Let alone knowing and doing all these things. We, being the part of the universe or universe ourselves, we are also universe. We are discussing with each other, where did the universe come from? What made the universe exist? That means, since we are the part of the universe, we are also universe. That means universe is actually confused about itself. Where did I come from? What made me exist? So we are not that infinitely intelligent mind, my dear brothers, because that infinitely intelligent mind has to know all this, right? It has to know, not only knowing this thing, it has to be able to even control the whole universe. So we are not that infinitely intelligent mind. If we were, then we would know all these things, in fact. Then where does that infinitely intelligent mind reside? Is it possible that that infinitely intelligent mind is actually located in a specific region in the universe? It's like the human body. Like, my entire body is not my mind. My entire body is not thinking. Thinking part of my body or my mind is actually my brain, and it is located in a specific region in my head, right? And rest of my body is actually my limbs and organs, these are actually controlled by my brain. These are being controlled by my brain, but my entire body is not my brain. Could it be the same case with the universe also, that this is the whole body of the universe, and its brain, that means universe's brain, its infinitely intelligent mind is actually located in a specific region somewhere, right? And rest of the universe are only the body parts, like we, plants, animals, celestial objects and everything. We are only body parts, right? Is it possible? This is also not possible, my dear brothers and sisters. Why? Because if it was the case, then universe's own body parts should not be in conflict. Own body parts should not be in conflict, and we have been constantly conflicting over various issues, and especially about the matter that where did the universe come from? What made the universe exist? Who is the creator? We are always fighting about these issues. Not only fighting, we are even, shedding each other's blood. You cannot deny that. More than half of the wars in this world are actually due to religion. Who is the creator? And if there is a creator, then who is the creator? These are the issues people are actually fighting over. So my dear brothers and sisters, if this was the case, that universe has its brain somewhere located in a specific region and we are only the parts, body parts, then own body parts should not be in conflict. Does it happen that in your body, since your brain is in control of your entire body, does it happen that in your body, that among your body parts, there is a fighting in between? Has it ever happened that your right hand and left hand, suddenly, they picked a quarrel? And so much so that your right hand actually, ended up destroying your left hand completely. Does it happen, my dear brothers and sisters? Never. If your brain is in control of your entire body, then the entire body of yours, all the parts of your body should be in harmony. They should not be conflicting with each other. Similarly, my dear brothers and sisters, if the brain of the universe is actually the part of the universe's body, then every part of the universe's body should be in harmony. They should not be conflicting with each other, but we are conflicting with each other. This means that brain or that infinitely intelligent mind which is running the universe is not the part of universe's body. It is not the part of the universe's body. It is separate from the universe. That means the infinitely intelligent mind which is actually running the universe, which is operating the universe, which is controlling the universe, has to be separate from the universe. What does it tell us, my dear brothers and sisters? What does it suggest? It tells us that the power that is running the universe, that is operating the universe, that is controlling the universe, has to be separate from the universe. In other words, the creator is separate from his creation. So my dear brothers and sisters, no matter how much you are going to brainstorm, you will always conclude this, that the creator is separate from his creation. And this is one of the most important aspects you must maintain if you really claim that you believe in the creator. You must maintain this. Because my dear brothers and sisters, most of the people in this world actually believe in the creator. They believe in the creator. So problem is not believing in the creator, because people, those who deny the existence of the creator, are actually minority. Atheists are actually minority. Most of the people actually believe in the existence of a creator. But the problem is what? They confuse themselves with creation and creator. But creator is actually separate from the creation. You have to draw a clear line between these two entities. As a painter is separate from his painting. A designer is separate from his design. Similarly, the creator is actually separate from his creation. This is one of the most important points that we must believe in, my dear brothers and sisters. And there are more and more logic we can show. I don't want to actually make this discussion a long-winded one by showing you more and more logic. Rather, I would like to end this video with one more scientific evidence. And already we have proved that creator is actually separate from the creation, but this scientific evidence I'm only discussing with you so that it is going to emphasize on this concept even more. So in science, there is a law called Newton's first law. You must have heard about this law, Newton's first law. So what does Newton's first law say? It says that if an object is at rest or if it is in motion, then it will be in the state of rest and motion unless and until an external force is applied on it. This is the key word, external. External force is applied on it. So what does it mean? Newton says that if something is at rest, so suppose this is a pen, this is at rest, then it will be at rest forever. If it is stationary, it will be in that state forever. It cannot move from point A to point B on its own. This is common sense. Everyone knows this. Even if you didn't know Newton, you would know this, right? So if this pen is there, if this object is there, then it cannot move from point A to point B on its own unless and until an external force is applied on it. The force has to be external. Because if you believe that the force is internal, that means you are believing that this thing can actually change its state of rest or motion, whatever, on its own. So that force has to be external, my dear brothers and sisters. Now today scientists tell us that this universe, everything in this universe were actually, joined together once upon a time, and then there was a separating force. They were separated, and after that, all these celestial objects and everything were actually formed later. So where did this separating force come from, that initial separating force come from? And scientists tell us today that initial separating force is actually the source of all the forces in the nature today. Whatever the forces you find, because you find movement everywhere. You find movement in atomic level, electrons are moving. Even in subatomic level, the particles are actually moving. Even the celestial objects are moving. Galaxy is moving. So everything is moving. So where this force is coming from? So scientists tell us that this force is coming from that initial force, that is the source of all forces, that is that separating force. And where did that separating force come from, my dear brothers and sisters? Newton tells us that separating force has to be external. That means the force or the power, has to be external. Or in other words, the creator is external, which means creator is separate from his creation. So my dear brothers and sisters, in conclusion, this creation has a creator, and that creator, this is the most important part, because most of the people actually believe in the creator. That is not the problem. And that creator is separate from the creation. You must believe in this. With this, my dear brothers and sisters, I would like to end the video here. Thank you very much for watching. But remember, we have more and more aspects of the creator to discuss, because this is only one aspect that we have deduced so far, and that is creator is separate from his creation. And who would not like to actually discuss aspects of the creator who has created everything, right? So please continue watching, and thank you very much for watching this video. See you in the next episode. Take care.